Hello and welcome to another episode in the Young Explorers series. Today's objective is going to be to make our own water filter, and the process is going to be water filtration. Now, extending the survival theme, if you imagine yourself hiking or on an expedition and you run out of water, you may need to source it in the wilderness, and it is unlikely to be clean. So we're going to go through two processes, the first of which we're going to focus on today, and that is filtration. So that is removing the dirty impurities from the water, the debris, and eventually leaving yourself with clear water, not safe to drink. Okay, at that point, it is not safe to drink at that point. It needs to go through a second process, which involves either boiling the water or adding a sterilization tablet. My preference is always to boil the water. And with the year 9s in Borneo, when we were hiking in the jungle, we went through exactly that process, and we boiled the water for around 4 or 5 minutes. Okay, so let's get started and have a look at some of the resources we need for this exercise. Okay, so let's have a look at some of the resources we have here today to do our water filter in our survival situation. So, first of all, we've got our pretty dirty gopping water from the wilderness. That's going to need a lot of work before it's anywhere near looking clean and then ready to boil. We've got some sand. Now, that's great in a filter. That really gets rid of the finer particles. And then we've got charcoal. Charcoal's great for absorbing the impurities out of dirty water. And then lastly, I've got some rocks, and they're designed to strain out the bigger material, and they'll be at the top of my filter. And one important point, I'm actually going to use my sock. Now, it is a laundry day. It doesn't smell great, but this is a survival situation. So we are going to use a sock, and the sock is going to be based at the bottom of my filter, because that will strain out all but the finest particles. Okay, so let's have a look how this works. Okay, so I've got my cheesy sock wedged into the bottom of my filter. Now I'm going to add the charcoal. So a handful of charcoal in there. Chuck that in. Doesn't need to look pretty. Okay. On top of the charcoal now, you can see that nicely there. I'm going to add my sand. Now, you can use anything. It doesn't need to be exactly what I have here. The principle of filtering the water is the idea is that the debris in the water, or the bits, are left behind. So if you don't have this readily at hand, find something else. Kitchen towel, for instance. Okay. So there's a good layer of sand in my filter. And then I'm going to add my rocks. Now remember, the rocks go at the top, and the aim with the rocks is to strain out, as we said, the bigger material. Okay, so there we have our finished filter process ready to go. The sock, of course, also helps to make sure the filter material doesn't all pour out the end. I've got one cheesy sock in there. I'm going to use my other cheesy sock to go on the outside. Now, you can use as many socks as you like, just makes the filter more effective. So we've got our rocks at the top, we've got our sand, we've got our charcoal sock, and we'll put the other sock over here. Might take a little bit more time. And here we go. Let's pour and see what happens. So it's taken a little bit of time for the water to get to this stage, but happy with the outcome. The water's worked its way through the filter, through the cheesy sock, and gathered here at the bottom. It's important to say that this water is not safe to drink, and it would still need to go through a second stage of either boiling or adding a chemical sterilization tablet to get it to a stage where you would be able to drink it. At this point, it could still have harmful bacteria and viruses in. But it's done exactly what we wanted from our water filter, and that is to strain out some of the impurities and most of the debris and leave us with this clearer looking water. So have a go and let us know how you get on.